Have you ever found yourself at the end of the month wondering exactly where your money went? Or perhaps forgotten to pay an important bill and only remembered when the late fee arrived? If you're here with me today, you've probably felt that uncomfortable sensation that things are getting harder to control, and it's not just your imagination. Look, I want to start our conversation today by being very honest with you. There's nothing wrong with admitting that our memory isn't the same as when we were 40 or 50 years old. It's natural, it's part of life, and it happens to everyone. What's not natural is accepting that because of this, we're going to lose control of our finances and our independence. Do you know why I decided to talk about this subject? Because I receive many messages from people who feel lost, who depend on their children for everything related to money. And this takes away the dignity of those who work their whole lives to have autonomy. It doesn't have to be this way. There's a simple, practical way to organize your finances in a way that your mind today can follow perfectly. The first thing I want you to understand is that financial organization doesn't need to be complicated. Actually, the simpler it is, the better it works. Think about it. When you were younger, maybe you could juggle several accounts in your head, remember dates, do complex mental calculations. Today, our minds work better when things are clear, visible, and always in the same place. It's like that kitchen drawer where you always kept important bills. You knew exactly where everything was, right? Financial organization works the same way. There needs to be a right place for everything, and everything in its right place. The first system I want to share with you is what I call the financial life notebook. It might seem old-fashioned to some people, but for our age group, it's pure gold. Get a simple notebook, one of those school notebooks, and dedicate it only to your finances. Don't write other things in there. On the first page, you're going to write down all your sources of it. Retirement, pension, rent if you have any money that comes in every. Write the amount and the day it usually hits your account. This will always stay on the first page, like a map of your money. On the second page, you list all your fixed expenses. Electricity, water, phone, medicines, groceries, everything you know you'll spend every. Put the approximate amount and when you need to pay it. It doesn't need to be exact to the penny, but it has to be realistic. Now comes the part that makes all the difference. The third page is for what I call accountability with myself. Every day, before going to sleep, you write down how much you spent that day and on what. Bought bread, write it down. Paid the pharmacy, write it down. Gave a tip, write it down. It seems like work, but after a week it becomes automatic. Do you know why this works so well? Because our mind, even with some memory gaps, still works very well with routine. When you create the habit of writing everything down every day at the same time in the same notebook, your head gets used to it and it becomes easy. There's something important I need to tell you. Don't pressure yourself to do everything perfectly from day one. If you forget to write something down one day, no problem. If you get an amount wrong, you can correct it later. The important thing is to start and keep improving little by little. The second system that works very well is what I call the weekly envelope. It's this simple. Every Monday, you take the money you can spend that week and put it in an envelope. It could be for groceries, pharmacy, small daily expenses. When the money in the envelope runs out, the spending for the week is done. This gives you visual control of how much you have available. You don't need to keep doing calculations in your head. You don't need to remember how much you spent yesterday or the day before. The envelope shows you right away if you still have money or if you need to hold back a little. Many people turn their nose up at this idea because they think it's an old person's thing, but I say, so what? If it works, if it gives you security, if it keeps you in control of your own life, then that's exactly what you should do. We don't need to prove anything to anyone. We need to take good care of ourselves. And look at something I learned by observing people our age who are well organized financially. They don't try to keep up with all the technological innovation. They take what's good for them, what simplifies life, and leave the rest aside. Now I want to talk about something that might be happening to you and you haven't even noticed, the disorganization of financial documents. You know that pile of papers that keeps accumulating? Bank statements, paid bills, receipts, credit cards. When our memory was sharp, we could handle all of this almost automatically. Today, this mess can become a serious problem. The third system I want to teach you is the peace of mind folder. It's like this. You get a simple folder, one of those with dividers, and organize your financial documents in a way that anyone can understand. This includes yourself 6 months from now, when you might not remember exactly where you put something. In the first divider, keep the main documents, ID, social security number, proof of income, bank card, passwords written on paper. Yes, write your passwords on paper and keep them in this folder. I know they say it's dangerous, but do you know what's more dangerous? Forgetting the password and losing access to your own account. In the second divider, you put the current month's bill. The electricity bill arrives, it goes to this divider. The credit card arrives, it goes to this divider. All the bills that haven't been paid, yet stay together in one place. The third divider is for bills already paid. You paid the electricity, move it from the second to the third divider. This way you always know what still needs to be paid and what's already resolved. And there's a detail that makes all the difference. On the folder cover, on the outside, you tape a paper with the most important information. Your bank account number, customer service phone number, card number, only the last 4 digits, phone number of a trusted relative. If you have a memory blank, it's all right there. This simple organization prevents that terrible feeling of not knowing if you already paid a bill. How many times have you wondered if you already paid the credit card? With this system, you just look at which divider the paper is. If it's in the third, it's already paid. If it's in the second, it still needs to be paid. Now, comes a part that might be the most important of all, dealing with money day to day when our mind sometimes plays tricks on it. Have you ever gone to the supermarket and come home with things you didn't need, forgetting what you really needed to buy? Or withdrawn money from the bank and then didn't remember how much you had withdrawn? The fourth system I want to share with you is what I call the financial security routine. These are small habits that will protect you from forgetting important things or making bad financial decisions in moments of confusion. First habit, never leave home to do anything related to money without a written list. Going to the supermarket? List. Going to the bank? List of what you need to do. Going to pay bills? List of which bills. It seems excessive, but this list is your anchor. When you have that memory blank, you look at the paper and know exactly what you came to do. Second habit, whenever you handle money, say out loud what you're doing. I'm withdrawing $200. I'm paying the electricity bill for $85. I'm buying medicine for $40. It seems strange, but when you say it out loud, it registers better in memory. And if someone finds it weird, that's their problem. Third habit, never make important financial decisions when you're tired, hungry, or emotionally upset. If an investment proposal comes, if someone wants to sell you something expensive, if you need to decide about a loan, wait until you're rested and have a clear mind. Nobody is chasing you. You have the right to think. One thing I notice is that many people our age are embarrassed to admit they need help organizing their. They prefer to struggle, get into debt, or even deprive themselves of important things rather than ask for help from a child or relative. Look, there's no shame in asking for help. The shame would be letting the situation get out of control, compromising your quality of life. But there's a right way to ask for help that preserves your autonomy, and if you have a child or trusted relative, talk to this person clearly. Explain that you want to continue taking care of your money, but you need support in some specific situations. It could be to check if you forgot to pay any bills. It could be to go with you to the bank when you need to solve something complicated. It could be to help understand a document that arrived in the. The important thing is to make it clear that you're not handing over control to this. You're asking for consulting, support, a second opinion. The final decision remains yours, because the money is yours and the life is yours. Now I want to talk about something that might be worrying you. What if the situation gets worse? What if memory becomes even more unreliable? What if there comes a time when you really can't take care of your finances alone anymore? First, take a deep breath. You don't need to despair thinking about the worst possible scenario. Many people live decades with small memory lapses without ever losing the ability to take care of their own. But it's smart to prepare, and preparation brings tranquility, not fear. Something very important you can do now, while your mind is working well, is organize what I call the manual of my financial. It's a simple document where you write everything a trusted person would need to know to help you, if necessary. In this manual, you put where your important documents are, what your bank accounts are, where you usually keep money at home, if you have any investments, if you owe anything to anyone, if anyone owes you any. You can also write your habits, where you like to shop, how much you usually spend per month, what expenses are most important to you. It's not a legal document. You don't need a lawyer or notary. It's just a practical guide that you keep in a safe place, along with other important documents. If you never need to use it, even better. But if you do need it, it will be a blessing to have everything organized. Another thing I want to tell you is about not letting anyone make you feel incapable. Sometimes the children themselves, with good intentions, want to take care of everything as if you were a child. Forgetting some things doesn't mean you've lost the ability to think, to decide, to take care of your life. You might need more time to make a decision. You might need to write down more things. You might need help understanding complicated documents. But that doesn't make you incapable. It makes you a person who is intelligently adapting to the natural changes of life. There's a phrase I really like. It's not strong who never falls. It's strong who always gets up. In financial life, it's the same thing. It's not organized who never forgets anything. It's organized who creates systems to deal with forgetfulness. These 4 systems we talked about today, the financial life notebook, the weekly envelope, the peace of mind folder, and the financial security routine, are not complicated. Anyone can use them. You don't need a computer. You don't need a phone app. You don't need a course. You just need the willingness to start and patience to create the habit. And you know what? When you put these systems to work, something very interesting happens. You start to feel in control again. That anxiety of not knowing if you forgot to pay something decreases. The worry of not knowing where the money is going disappears. You go back to sleeping peacefully, knowing your finances are organized. There's no age to start getting organized. There's no situation so complicated that it can't improve with a little method and persistence. The important thing is to take the first step, and that first step can be today. If you made it here with me, it's because you have genuine interest in improving your financial situation. That's already halfway there. Now you just need to get to work. Always remember, your life experience is worth gold. Your independence is precious, and you deserve to live with financial peace of mind. No matter what age you are, no matter how long you've been disorganized, there's always time to start over and do better. Life after 60 can still be full of energy, choices, and joy. And when your finances are organized, you have much more energy to enjoy these joys. Take good care of your money, and it will take good care of you.